Hello, FlossTube, you ladies. It's been so long since I've seen you all and laid eyes on you, and I apologize for not being around. Just, you know how it is. I have a 2-year-old daughter, Bronwyn, and she's a little more active than she used to be, and just I really don't have an excuse, just life, and I appreciate you all who have contacted me and reached out to me to just check on me and make sure I'm fine. And everything's great. It's May 18th. I'm out on the back porch. It's a gorgeous evening in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So I just want to show you what I've been doing. Even though I haven't been making videos, I have been stitching and getting some things done. So I just want to update you where I am, and thank you for not giving up on me. And I, it seems like I have a couple of hobbies. One is reading, and when I get into something, I kind of hyper focus, and other things take a back burner. So I go through cycles. Sometimes it's stitching, sometimes it's reading. So I think I've read about 25 books so far, 26 books maybe so far this year. And so that's been, I only have a limited amount of free time. And so I've been focusing on reading a little bit. And doing that, it seems like it's just one or the other. I can't seem to get a good routine of both, or find a balance between work and home and reading and cross stitching and all my other hobbies, and still have time for family and friends. And so anyway, um, I want to show you my finishes, um, what I've got in progress, what I'm working on now. And I just realized I think I left one of my finishes inside, but anyway, it's a small one. So I don't remember the last thing you saw that I finished, but I'm pretty sure everything I'm going to show you was a work in progress or hadn't been started the last time I was with you. So let me go ahead and get started. I'm going to do my finishes first, then I'll show you what I'm working on and what I haven't been working on. My finishes first. I need to be a little more organized. Okay, here we go. So my finishes. The last time you saw this, I was working on it, and now it's completed. This is Snowflake Serenade by, is it Country Cottage or Little House? I think it's Country Cottage. Snowflake Serenade with the called for floss and fabric. I believe the fabric I used is Juggling Summer Sky. The blue's not really showing up on here, but it's a pale blue, and I was able to get that one finished up. I haven't made it into anything yet, but I'll do that soon. So that's one finish that the last time you saw, I think I had Frosty done and maybe this house. So anyway, there's that. Then I finished this small freebie, and I'm sorry I don't have the information for it, but it's a free stitch I got online for Valentine's Day. I thought about doing a little pillow or doorknob hanger or something with that, but be mine. Cute, easy. I think I worked on it 2 evenings and got that completed. And then I think the last time we talked, I was getting ready to start this one. I hadn't started it yet. This is Hagatha's Hats by Glory B. I really like how it turned out. I thought it was super, super cute. The little spider and the hats. It's darling. So, Glory B. I was working on this one the last time you saw it. I have it completed. This is from an old Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine. I'm not sure how old it is, but it's just called Hey, a little scarecrow. And as you'll see, it's missing an eye. My mom gives me a hard time because I don't keep anything. If I don't need it today, and then things end up in my yard sale pile, and I have a yard sale every year religiously, and I just, if I don't need it at the moment, I feel like I don't need it. And so I had finished this up, and I did not have a black button anywhere in my house, which is what it called for the eye. So she mailed me a postcard, two options from you know who, with two different size black buttons on it so that I can put that eye on there. So I'm going to make it a point to do that this evening or maybe tomorrow. But anyway, I have my black buttons. This one you haven't seen. I've completed it since I last saw you. I did not like working on this. I don't know if it's the white or... I love how it turned out. I love the fabric. This is Scuppernong linen. Again, a country cottage, I think. Maybe Little House. I get those two confused. But I was able to finish that one up. I do like the variegated threads in that one. I liked doing the trees. I think it was the white. I think it was the snowflakes I didn't particularly like. I don't like stitching with white, and I just, but it's done. Love it. It turned out super cute. And see, I told you I have been stitching. I just haven't been making any videos. The last finish I have to show you was the most recent one I finished. I believe I was working on it, and it was still a work in progress the last time you saw it. But this is Battle Hymn of the Republic by Little House Needleworks. It's America, it's a hymn, it's history, right up my alley. And so I was able to finish that. I'm hoping to have that framed by before the 4th. So, speaking of the 4th, I wanted to talk a little bit about, I've shown before my One Nation American flag with the 50 states. And I was talking to a couple of people about that. I should have brought it out here, but just a couple of hints and tricks I learned as I was working on that one. There is, it's blue with stars up in the corner, and then there's a red stripe, a white stripe, a red and white. And the state names are listed in the stripes. They're either stitched in red or stitched in white. And there's a line of stitches across between the red and white. There's a red line all the way across and a white line all the way across. Just a word of advice if you're working on that One Nation piece, to do your white line that goes across first before you do your red line, especially if you're using the called for overdyed threads. Because if you do the red line and then you pull that white through over and over and over, your white starts to look pink. The thread gets a pink tint to it. Whereas if you do the white line first and then stitch the red, that doesn't happen. So just a little piece of advice for anybody working on that. It's still one of my all-time favorite stitches I've done. It's the piece that when people come into my house, I have a couple of cross stitch things displayed, but that's the one that people always comment on and always look at. And one other thing I wish I had done, and had I not already had it framed, I would do this. I wish I had made Virginia in blue just so it would stand out as my home state. Um, I wish I had done that. So it's something to think about. If that's something you're working on or something that you're planning for, just consider um, those tips from me when you do that. And the of course, we just recently celebrated Mother's Day, and my mother-in-law bought me a gift. I don't understand myself or why I always joke with my sister that everything in her house is a shade of cream or brown. It's very monochromatic. But everything in my house is earth tone, oranges and browns, golds, um, dark burgundies. And yet, every time I came across this uh, kit, it just screamed to me, buy me, buy me, buy me. But I never would because I do not backstitch. Well, I mean, I'm not going to say I don't backstitch, but I'm really not a fan of backstitching. I'll do it if I have to, but that's kind of why I'm drawn to the more primitive designs. So there's not a lot of backstitching in this. But every time I saw this, I thought, I love that. I want it. Not a thing in my house that it'll match anywhere. But I wanted it. So my mother-in-law bought it for me for Mother's Day. I would never buy it for myself because of all the backstitching. And she gave it to me as a gift. But the real gift is, she said that if I would stitch it, if I would bring it to her, she would do all the backstitching on it for me. So I got it, and my husband, as you know, he stitches them too. And he said, I'll stitch it for you. So anyway, this is what's on deck with that. Mason jar lineup, lots of backstitching, lots of colors that I'm going to find somewhere to put it though. Maybe it'll be my inspiration piece for a whole new color scheme and maybe my laundry room, or I'm not sure, but I love it. Can't wait for my husband to stitch it for me and my mother-in-law to backstitch it. I'm spoiled. Love it. Okay. Let me show you what is on deck that I haven't started yet, but I'm going to work on. Excuse me. Sorry to push you. I work for a bank, human resources. We've talked about this before. And tomorrow will be my 20th year with the bank. I'm a little nostalgic about it because I'm 39 years old. I'll be 40 in July. And 20 years tomorrow. I've been with the bank over half my life, and such a great place to work. I know a lot of people, I hear people and see people on Facebook complaining about going to work or their jobs, and I have to say, and I can honestly say, I've never had a time or a period in that 20 years where I've dreaded going to work. I love my job. I'm grateful for my job. And, I mean, there are days, of course, that, if I have to talk to somebody or hire somebody or something like that, it's difficult, but ultimately, I love my job. And so I wanted to combine, well, about that. I haven't worked anywhere else. I don't know what it's like to work anywhere else. So I feel very thankful that, the first summer job I had has become my career. I accidentally got the job. I was in the drive-through one day, and I had a friend who worked there. She said, "Hey, the bank's hiring summer help. Do you want a job?" I said, "No." Uh, you know, it was my first summer home from college, and I just thought I'm gonna hang out. But um, she said, "Come on, it'll be fun." And I had no intentions of becoming a banker. It was um, I went into college pre-med, very quickly changed to mass comm when I realized that doctors have to touch people, and I didn't want to touch people. And so I switched to mass comm, and then after that first year, I switched to business major, and I fell in love with banking that summer. I worked as a teller. I worked as a teller all throughout um, college, and after I finished my degree, my boss, who is still my boss now, um, offered me the job in human resources. I said, I don't know anything about human resources, but I'll give it a shot. And he said, if you don't like it, you can have your old job back, so it was just a chance I took, and I've been doing that ever since. So I'm grateful. I've conducted hundreds of interviews in that 20 years and hired many, many people, but I joke about it because I've never been on the other side of the interview desk. I've never interviewed for a job. I just kind of happened into that bank job, and then the promotions I've received there, and I've never actually interviewed for a job. So I don't know if I could get a job if I had to. But anyway, I'm grateful for the company I work for, and I say all that to say this: I designed a cross stitch and PC stitch with our bank logo, and that is kind of on deck for something I'm gonna do and hang in my office. Um, just very simple. Um, it was my first time using PC Stitch. Didn't really know what I was doing, but I just kind of clicked and played around until I um, figured it out. And our colors are burgundy and cream, so I'm going to do it on a light cream, just 28 count even weave, and then a burgundy. I'm not sure which color. Yeah, I'm going to use for that. But that's kind of on deck as something I plan on starting pretty soon. I'm trying to decide between these two colors. It's hard to see, but this one's a little darker than this one. I'm going to get something with our logo on it out and just kind of decide which one works the best for that. I'm going to show you this whip. You've seen it before. I have no further progress on it. This is Late Summer Village out of September 2010 Cross Stitch and Needlework magazine. I have shown it to you before, but just where I'm kind of starting fresh on FlossTube and haven't been on for a while, I thought I would just pull out all my works in progress and kind of as a refresher to myself. And this is where I am on that. I don't like full coverage pieces. I love the way they look. I don't like doing them. I'm not sure really what possessed me to do this one, but I loved it the first time I saw it. I still love it. I haven't given it any attention or love lately. I'll see if I can find a picture so you can see what it will look like. Late Summer Village, Cross Stitch, and Needlework, September 2010. One day. The other work in progress I have going, I started a little before Easter because it was that season and that time of year, and recently the designer Diane Williams has re-released this chart, but I originally have it from the magazine it was in. So I can't show it because I just have the magazine insert with the design on the back. But it's He Is Risen, Diane Williams' Little House Needleworks. And this is how far I've gotten on that. And then, I want to get it done. I only have Late Summer Village, He Is Risen, and the current project that I'm concentrating on started. So I really only have 3 whips. And I've tried a rotation. I'm not one to rotate between different projects. I kind of like to see something through until the end. I've learned that I'm not a rotation stitcher. So, and that's okay. But I did put this one aside because Early Americans. That's all I can say. Early Americans came out. From the minute I saw it, I'm there. I'm doing it. I love it. It's everything. Like Vonna Pfeiffer and I were talking. It dings every bell I have, even the Liberty Bell. Blows my skirt up, blows my whistle, whatever you want to call it. It's Americana, it's history, it's Little House, it's me. Right up my alley. So, that's where I am. That's what I'm concentrating on. And I have finished Betsy Ross. I am working on John Hancock. I think Martha Washington will be out this week. I was a little late getting started, so I'm a little bit behind because I wanted to visit my needlework shop before I started this project because the charts called for all overdyed threads, and I get it. I don't love overdyed threads. I like the ability to watch my project when I'm finished. I like to use the loop method to start my threads, which you can't do with overdyed. And a lot of times, so at my needlework shop, the overdyed threads are $2.50 a piece. And DMC, I have a full set, that I got anywhere from 25 to 40 cents a piece. And I get it on some things like the blue, I'm using blacksmith blue. It called for blue corn, but I already had some blacksmith blue in my stash from doing One Nation. So I just thought I would go ahead and use that blue because I plan on displaying the 2 pieces together. And I get it on the blue in her dress. I see the variegation. The red around the corner I see. But that eggshell. So I went to my needle workshop because I wanted to see the threads, the overdyed threads, and see which threads were worth it, that I could really see variegation in, and which ones I felt like I could use the DMC substitute without my stitching, without it affecting the overall look. And like, don't get me wrong, everybody do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. I don't want any cross-stitch drama. Is that such a thing, cross-stitch drama? I don't want any, but to me, eggshell overdyed thread, that's as useless as an ashtray on a motorcycle. I don't get the point. It looks the same to me. Why would I pay $2.50 for a skein of it when I can use DMC? Maybe I'm wrong. It's okay if your opinion is different than mine, but it has to be worth it for me to use the overdyed thread. So I did on some, um, the blue, the wagon wheel, used brick, mossy. I could see it. Sunkissed. I didn't see it on Sunkissed, like the flesh tone eggshell. I didn't see it. So I substituted the DMC. So anyway, my local needlework shop is about an hour and a half away, and I had to see those in person before I decided which ones I was going to spend that money on and which ones I was just going to use the DMC. So that's why I didn't get started on it right away, but I have finished Betsy Ross. I am working on John Hancock right now, and let me show you where I am on those. I didn't completely take it out of the frame because I was lazy. But here they are. Betsy Ross, John Hancock. And of course I used Vonna Pfeiffer's border. She's so talented. So, you meet the nicest people through cross stitch. I've met people who, I've never met them personally, but I care about, and I I like to know what's going on in their kids' lives. I like to know what's going on with them. I think about them. And Vonna's one of those people for me. Don't know her, but I love her. And she is so generous to share her talent. She made this border, offered it up freely. Um, I'm so appreciative for that. I'm so grateful for people who have that kind of talent and share it with us. It just means so much to me. She said in her video she has the heart. She was put on this earth. I think what she said was, I was put on this earth to teach. Something to that effect. And to share. And she does, and I'm so grateful. Anyway, Betsy Ross. She's so cool. John Hancock. I was thinking about the Betsy Ross one. And I would love to have been sitting in her, wherever she sewed the flag, and tell her that in the year 2017 people would be making a cross stitch to commemorate her sewing, and what she would think about that. I wonder what she'd think about that. Love it. Love history. Love it. Cannot wait to finish this, see it through to the end. Wonderful. Thank you, Vonna, for sharing the border. I'm a little concerned about the border. I picked this fabric at, my local needlework shop helped me pick out the fabric for this. And my white, it's okay on this one because there's this border around it, but it's so close to the color of the fabric. And I'm concerned about doing the white stars down through here on the side border, that they're not going to show up. So if anybody has any suggestions about that, should I just do it and then kind of fade into the background, or do you think I should pick a different color? Should I leave it off? And the other concern is Martha Washington's going right here, and her house, I just saw the chart yesterday, is mostly that white ecru eggshell color that's so close to my fabric. So I'm afraid I'm going to kind of lose the house in the fabric. I don't know if I'm going to change the color a little bit and go with something a little darker, or if I'm going to just stitch it like it is and then maybe back stitch a brown around the outside edge so that it pops a little bit. Not sure. I wish I would have thought about that a little bit more before I chose this color. I love the way the fabric looks with the other colors, but I'm concerned with that white. So if anybody has any suggestions, what would you do? Would you change up the color on Martha's house? Would you backstitch around it just so it pops out a little bit more, shows up? Tell me what you think. I'm open to all suggestions. So, it's been so good to visit with you guys again and to show you what I've been doing. I was just absent, but I know you all probably think I didn't hit a lick at a snake, but I did. I've been doing stuff. I just haven't seen it. So I'm glad to catch up with you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. And I have been watching you guys faithfully, religiously, ever since I get. So thank you for continuing to make videos. I know what a sacrifice it is because we only have so much free time. And when you invite us in and share what you do with us, just know that people are watching and paying attention. I miss people who haven't done videos for a while. I appreciate those who um, checked on me because I haven't made a video in a while. And um, this is a wonderful community. I'm thankful that I found you all. That we can share this craft together. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Be kind.